Hey guys, this is Sean and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to communicate without arguing. Now, before I get going, I just want to say thank you to everybody on Apple Podcast and Spotify, as well as YouTube, who've left comments about their battles and struggles or their successes, things that have helped you sort of overcome relationship anxiety or retroactive jealousy. We really appreciate these comments, so please keep them coming, guys. Now, communicating without arguing. It's really something that you can do, but you first of all need to understand that arguments will happen, and you need to come from a place where you're already set in your mind that yes, arguments will happen, but now I have tools. I've got things that I can use, things I can do with my partner to move it to a place where I'm communicating without arguing. So the arguments will happen, but what do you do after the argument? What do you do after the explosion? What do you do after the shutdown, where you've shut down for 5 days? You use these tools. You can move to a place where you feel heard, you feel understood, you feel appreciated for who you are, how you think, and what you feel. So the first thing you need to do is calm down. Think about what you want to say. Think about what you were feeling. Think about what you were experiencing, so you can now communicate with your partner slowly, clearly, and concisely, right? You need to come from a calm place so your partner can receive that in a calm way, and they're not going to go on the defensive, they're not going to deflect, and they might not attack you back because they feel you're attacking them, right? So start from a calm place where you're collected, you're concise, and you have thought about what you want to say. Now, if things start to get animated, and even though you've started off calm and your partner starts to deflect, they get defensive, they're attacking you, maybe they haven't calmed down themselves. They're not in a place to receive what you're going to say. It's now their turn to take time out and calm down. They need to now think about what you've just said or what issue you're raising, and they need to come ready to communicate as well. So take the time separately so that you can come back together and communicate when the time suits you both. It's like you're having a meeting at work, but you're in a relationship, and that's okay. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's actually really a great thing that you guys might start to do this with each other. And I really invite you to try. There is a study that a couple called the Gottmans, who have studied relationships for many, many years now, they put a number of couples in a controlled environment where there were cameras and microphones set up, and they were all in different rooms, and they were watching these couples' behavior. They noticed when an argument started that things became difficult and escalated, and they weren't able to resolve the issue if they were left to continue. But what they then did was they told them there was a technical glitch when an argument started, and they let these couples go their separate ways for about half an hour to an hour, and told them that the technical glitch is done and they'd come back to the same space. But they were able to communicate things differently. They were able to think clearer. They were able to overcome a lot of issues in a different way. And that showed them that emotional flooding was really a thing. Emotional flooding is when things get too much, you're not able to think clearly, and you just start to become reactive. Men, in fact, become a lot more reactive a lot quicker. And I don't know if that's testosterone related as well, but women tend to be a lot calmer for a lot longer, but they also get emotionally flooded. And it becomes very difficult to communicate in this space. So take time out. That's the most important thing. The next important thing is be honest, and be honest with yourself. Know where your thoughts and feelings are coming from. Were you triggered by something? Is it a past trauma that's attached to what you're experiencing right now with your partner? Are you angry and hungry at the same time? Hangry? That's a valid reason. As silly as it sounds, you need to communicate that to your partner. Are you tired? Are you feeling under pressure because of work? Are you stressed out? Or is it an issue with your family that you haven't quite resolved yet? Whatever it is, these reasons are valid, and they might be affecting the way you're communicating and the way you're reacting around your partner when they've got their issues, their own issues as well. It's a tough place to be when you're in a relationship with someone. You're trying to manage that. You're in each other's pockets a lot of the time, but you've got all of these other things going on. So be honest with your own thoughts and feelings and where negative behaviors may be coming from. And then you can communicate that to your partner. Allow each other to be. Allow each other to actually make mistakes as well. It's so important. This is probably one of the most important things. Mistakes will always happen in a relationship, but we're just human beings. We're all human beings. So if you say something bad, if you do something bad, and you show remorse, you realize that, hang on, I didn't really mean that. When I think about it, yes, I lashed out, or, I shut down, or I slammed a door, I swore. If I could replay that in my mind, I would have liked to have reacted this way. Tell your partner. And your partner should try to really understand, as long as you're communicating, really try to understand where you're coming from, even if it's bad behavior, right? I'm not condoning being abusive. I'm not condoning being manipulative. I'm not condoning anything like that where you feel threatened physically, mentally, or emotionally, right? I'm talking about where you've just been reactive. You may have really lashed out, sworn, slammed a door, stormed out, said something rude, and you're trying to get back to a place where your partner can understand what was happening for you inside. Right? Allow each other to make mistakes. It's so, so important. The next thing you can do is avoid making accusations, avoid making assumptions, avoid making conclusions. So you need to start your sentences with, I feel. I feel this way because of what happened, right? This is what I heard you say. What I understood was that. And it caused me to feel a certain way. And this is how I'm feeling. This will really open the door for your partner to be able to see your point of view without feeling threatened, without feeling attacked, and without feeling like they have to defend themselves, right? So start with sentences like I feel. Avoid assumptions, accusations, or conclusions. And just really leave it open. So when you ask them a question, leave it open to them to answer the way they're going to answer without over anticipating what they really, really mean behind all of that. And the next thing you can do is focus on solutions together. It's so important that once a negative thing has happened, once an argument has happened, and you've moved to a place where you've communicated this together, that you focus on a solution. What are we going to do going forward, or what we're going to try to do? Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to have it perfect right afterwards, or if you make another mistake or you have a setback. That's okay. But what are we going to try to do instead of that, right? And aim for that. Because if you just keep aiming and you keep aiming, you'll hit that target a lot more often. The aim is to hit the target more often, not all the time. All the time is impossible. So when you're communicating, avoid words like always, never, all the time. Listen out for these types of words, because if you say these words to each other, it really puts the other person in prison. You never do this. You always do that. It's a tough place, because now you start to take that in. You take it personally. You get defensive. So that is it, guys. Pretty much that sums it up. I'll just run through the list again. Keep your voice down. Keep calm. Communicate clearly, concisely. Take time out to recharge and allow that emotional flooding to subside. Be honest with yourself and really understand where your true feelings are coming from. Listen with the intention to understand, so that you're not trying to over-anticipate what the other person is saying. Avoid accusations, assumptions, and conclusions. Focus on solutions together. So aim for what you want and let go of what you don't want. Okay? Just keep letting it go. Keep pressing the reset. Aim for what you want. You're going to hit that target more often. And the last and most important one is allow your partner to make mistakes, because you would want your partner to do the same for you. If you displayed negative behavior, if you did something bad, or you were feeling a certain way and it wasn't helpful to the relationship, you would hope that they would allow you to make a mistake, that they would understand where the negative behavior came from, right? So if you're doing this for each other, guys, you'll really, really move from a place where you're arguing all the time and you believe that it's impossible to overcome it. I hope this helped you guys, and yeah, keep the comments coming. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.